What's up, guys? Man, NBA fan crazy here. So, with now knowing that the NBA is coming back on July 31st, a potential game 7 finals date on October 12th. So, I just want to get into what the ESPN published the new NBA debate, the biggest unknowns, the best matchups, and new title chase published by the NBA insiders. So, I just want to get into it pretty quickly. So, let's just go ahead. So I believe the NBA it's gonna be conducted in Orlando. So I believe it's gonna be conducted in the ESPN Wide World of Sports because that's what my belief is. So let's just get into what the presumptive NBA insiders say. So in the absence of home court, remaining regular season games will be all about potential playoff matchups. Well, Zion Williamson and the New Orleans Pelicans be competing. They are the main draw of the play-in because, according to Windhorst, he made a he came on to a segment in which he said that the NBA is trying to do some whatever, right, just to get Zion Williamson and to generate the appeal to get him maybe matched up against LeBron. So I just want to get into it. So, plus, my belief is like many people believe that in the earlier things, if 7 and 8 come, Luca and the Mavs should not be included because they have been working the butt off this season. Like, they have been playing so good, and plus, they are 8 games ahead of Memphis. Doncic is in the MVP convo, so I strongly disagreed with that. But this they I don't know, but some ideas are like trying to create a joint play-in between the east and west of the 14th, 15th, and 16th spots. But I'm not so sure. But I think still gonna be conference-wise. Home court advantages as given there. I'm just gonna get into a separate video of home court advantages. So I'll get into that. But this is about potential matchups and title chase. What are the new title odds? Though it's not legitimately new title odds, it has created some stir, some confusion. So let's just get into it. Which unknown in the NBA's plan are you most looking forward to? So Kevin Pelton said none of the other details matter. The league is not able to minimize the entry of the novel coronavirus into the campus. Bubble campus, which the bubble campus now, which is look to encompass around 1,600 people, along with a few family members, as per what we learned today around mid afternoon. So I'm just gonna go ahead because clearly there are some more. And Bobby Marks has said, what about two-way players? What about two-way contracts? And he brought up the example of a starting lineup player in the Thunder, Lugans Dort, mostly known as Lou Dort, who has been a very good important part of the Thunder's defense, moving Terence Ferguson to the bench. So Bobby is looking forward to how they deal with the two-way contracts and shoring up your playoff rotation. Andre Snellings looking forward to some kind of home court advantages. As per what I said, I'm going to be doing a video on home court advantages later, but still, there are some kind of questions as related to what kind of home court advantages you're going to use to reward the top teams. But some people have said that the team should just be glad that they are here in the first place. No need for home court. According to me, that you should be glad, but to the point of saying there's no need for home court is bad, because teams in the regular season till now have fought in the regular season, so there should be at least some kind of rewarding case. So I believe some kind of advantage should come. So I'm not so sure which one, but I'm gonna get into that later. So lot of advantages thrown around, extra fouls, extra possessions. They are not, though they are good. They are more essential. Come ending minutes, you want to give that to a more valuable guy on your team who's gonna contribute in clutch time, or you're gonna give it to your star player to make sure he's on the court in the last few minutes to deal significant competitiveness, yes, but not so much, because it still is not, it may be a big consequence but not for me. I might be looking forward to some other kind of advantage. That's just my mindset. What happens if any player contracts the virus? Why? Because everybody in the going to be in the bubble campus. So since they're going to be together, what happens if a player contracts the virus? Wow, this one is kind of what I thought about when I thought about the bubble campus. Like, you're going to be surrounded by so many people. What happens? One of them contracts the virus. So that's just my mindset anyway. But this one's Nick Friedel's mindset. What is the league going to do with its rosters? Yeah, roster, playoff rotations, you're going to be in playoff time. All of them will be decided in the last 8 games. So, what else is thing? Now, teams like the top 6 in each conference, they can solely focus on playoff positioning and shoring up their playoff rotation. Come to realizations with who to use. They're going to be using the last few games to go up in the playoff seeding, or if for teams who are essentially already in the entrenched in the firm race, you have a big advantage over other teams, might be tinkering with a little bit of lineups. That's just my mindset. 8th and 9th seed, there's gonna be only be a play-in if there is like a how do I say, like 4 games within each other. These teams like the Wizards, Suns, all of them got invited because the requirements were for the remaining seeds to be teams to be at least 6 games of the within the 8th seed in the respective conferences. So the Washington Wizards only team in the East. The Pelicans, Blazers, Spurs, Suns, and Kings in the West. So you're just gonna be seeing how it unfolds. Which team in the playoff spot has the most to play for during the seeding games? The Mavericks are one intriguing option as marks here as listed. The Mavericks have already exceeded expectations, true, but you want to use the last few games to move up a little bit further, because the Clippers basically a very bad matchup for anyone except for more mobile players who very good wing defenders who can guard them, and still it's still a bad matchup unless you are very suited to play. And the thing why their bench is good, just like the Mavericks. The Mavericks bench is actually kind of underrated, guys. Like, there are so many useful guys. Maxi Cleaver's coming off the bench. Seth Curry is coming off the bench. Delon Wright's a good player who comes off the bench. Jalen Brunson got injured. Sorry to that guy. Brunson's been a very useful part. I think he might be out rest of the season. I'm not so sure because I am not a Mavericks fan. I like watching them play, but I'm not the Mavericks fan who watches every Mavericks game, so I'm not so sure. But you want to use these games to vault yourself up the playoff seeding. So Andre Snelling's gone with the Houston Rockets. Team, many people predicted Rockets to be somewhat in the upper echelon on the regular season standings by the end of the regular season. So certainly it got off to a kind of rocky start. You traded Clint Capella, go all in with shooters surrounding Westbrook, allowing us drive into the driving ability into the paint. So that's one intriguing thing, but I don't think it will go well in the playoffs. One reason why, because in the playoffs mostly every possession matters, and once teams have a chance to strategize against you, it might get a little bit tough for the Rockets. Other teams who go with size, even they can go small and put the most mobile and versatile players on the floor. So that kind of gets kind of iffy for the Rockets, and plus they don't have a very good bench. They like how Colin Coward said in the first segment of the 16 seed format, it won't happen, but still he said they're allergic to defense. They are mostly all offense, no bench. So they have to come closer to getting not going towards the Denver Nuggets, who I believe can knock off the Rockets. The Mavericks, as per the same thing, my same format, won no part against the Clippers. Seriously, no one wants the Clippers because they are so well rounded, except for most likely a big for rim protection. Other than that, they are almost very well rounded. If you ask me, Nick Friedel, go with my favorite team, the Miami Heat. So you certainly know that if, like me, I'm a Heat fan, you want to avoid the Sixers come playoff time because we went 3-1, we know that come playoff time, the Sixers team, though in spite of what we know the Sixers have struggled this season, that a team no one wants to face because now Ben Simmons is healthy. Now that presents a different thing to you because you know the season went on, the Sixers might have slipped, but now because the hiatus, Ben Simmons is healthy, and plus the Heat have a real chance to fall because their schedule's a murder gauntlet. As a Heat fan, I got like, wow, I don't know what happens because it's a very difficult schedule because you're facing the Bucks, the Pacers, the Thunder, Nuggets, Suns, Celtics, Raptors, and maybe the Trailblazers or Lakers. Or maybe Magic, but they won't go with 5 Eastern Conference meetings. But still, they don't want to go falling and meeting the Celtics in the first round. So if anything, the Heat really, this is the time for the Heat to prove that, in spite of what everybody has been thinking about them, to prove that they are where they belong, they are. But if you don't wanna fall behind and fall out of home court, this is the time to prove it, according to me. They don't want to meet Milwaukee in the second round, which is probably the anything. Though their teams are not feared, you don't want to get that matchup in the second round. And plus, they, according to website, said rather face the Indiana Pacers and the Raptors, then rather than the Sixers, then the Bucks. So let's see how that goes. Tim Bontemps, same, the Mavericks. They are one of the most efficient offense in NBA history. So the Clippers go against the Mavs. I believe the Clippers gonna get tired because though you can eliminate the Mavericks early, it's not gonna be easy. I get regular seasons one thing, the playoffs are different thing. Though we can speak about how the Mavericks are kind of inexperienced, I at least like them giving some kind of fight, not big fight, maybe 7 games, but at least 5 or 6 games. I have them at least winning 1 or 2 games. And plus, whoever faces against the Mavericks, you have to put a lot of effort against these guys. They're not experienced. They gain valuable postseason experience. Look out, league next few years they might be very dominant. So, which play-in matchup would you like to see? For me personally, I would like to see the Grizzlies versus the Pelicans, Zion versus Ja, and how many people have complained that the ESPN's been in love with the Pelican, not as in real love, everyone knows that, but as in they're just trying to get him into the playoffs, discredit Ja, and then everything. I want Morant to prove everyone wrong because everyone's been they don't think Memphis is that much of a threat, and even if they did, the biggest threat for the 8th seed is Portland. But if it were what kind of matchup I want to see exciting, I would go for Grizzlies versus Pelicans because I want the 2 rookies to go head to head, and each rookie, maybe even if Zion goes to the playoffs, might be Zion or Ja, but if Morant just gets through, it's an ROI. It's mostly what people may judge, an ROI battle. So that's my matchup. It's Andre Snelling's Blazers versus Pelicans. The Trailblazers are getting healthy, so according to me, they are one of the few healthy teams. They could give a fight to maybe the Lakers. They get sneak through, and plus the play-in only happens if you have 4 games within the less than 4 games within the 8th seed. While the 9th seed goes to a single elimination, while the 8th seed, I believe, is a double elimination. I don't want to address that. Bontemps from a pure. So the Blazers coach also very playoff tested. Nuggets coming back. He's been really reliable. Collins, they brought him into the starting lineup. He's also been good. He's a kind of perimeter switchy player who can, to an extent, defend the interior. I like watching Nurkic play, even Collins. They were really they when you saw what they did without them. They are a pretty good draw. Pure entertainment standpoint. Larbi Rest is saying Zion Williamson, Ja Moran. For the same logic I just said. To childhood friends, I'm not so sure, but anyway, just you're just here for the matchups. Do they want to go head to head Grizzlies versus Pelicans? The core of the Grizzlies, who no one's been paying attention to, versus the Pelicans, who everyone knows about: Brandon Ingram, Drew Holiday, Derek Favors. That's three really, really solid veterans. And then Lonzo Ball. Why did I forget Lonzo Ball? Lonzo Ball's really good this year. Like, he's really been resurrecting his 3 point shot, who everyone's been blasting him for. He's really turning himself into a kind of solid shooter. So anyway, going head to head, prove you are the ROI against the other. Blazers, Pelicans. I don't see. I believe the Memphis Grizzlies will make it. That's my mindset. Come after me, you want. My mindset. This is my opinion. I believe the Grizzlies will make it in. They have been like so. They have been so hard headed. Like, though you like veterans, like, they don't have a lot of veterans. A lot. Valanciunas might be the oldest player in starting line. He's only 27. So it's not a lot of veterans, but more persistent players who want to prove who they are, who want to prove the grind that the city of Memphis has to fight for the city and show who they truly are. For that fact, I really appreciate the Grizzlies. I want to really see them go against LeBron. That's my opinion. I like the Pelicans. I want to watch the Grizzlies particularly go on to face the Lakers. Anyway, Marks going with Grizzlies, Pelicans, Pelton going Grizzlies, Pelicans, same logic, two rookies, and the supporting cast too is kind of good. So that's just. Do you find most interesting? Golden State Warriors have a top 5 pick. So the lottery is running. I think the lottery is based on the current standings. So Golden State has a chance of falling. The chances they might also trade the pick down the line for a veteran, more proven veteran, because not all these players are like immediate. Though they're immediate contributors, not the kind of type who you please like immediately change a franchise, especially in a team like Golden State is in immediate contention with most of the core being above like 28. So I'm just gonna talk about it. So I really like what the Golden State Warriors gonna do next season. They are probably one of the top 10 title contenders next season, everyone's eyes, including mine. So that's just about it. Everyone mainly taking the Warriors. So Warriors in including Andrew Wiggins. So most of these guys, so Kevin Pelton, Bobby Marks, Kevin Pelton, Andre Snellings, Nick Friedel, who's I think is a beat writer for the Warriors. So anyway, that's just my mindset. Tim Bontemps went with a very interesting pick here. He went on to say the Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks have pretty good amount of cap space this off season, so you want to think about who you can get to can be one of the more young guys on the market. But they'll be going for guys like Brandon Ingram. I expect the Pelicans to lock him up, give him a max, and plus the young talent's also good. But the Atlanta Hawks looking for a guy who's more star, like who can fit that timeline too, being a young rebuilding team. So Brandon Ingram's more appealing. So it's pretty interesting. Plus the Clint Capella and Collins fit. So see and make a decision on Collins. So that's just my mindset. Giving the Hawks can be very good. Trae has already been a very good also. But the thing is, he's one of the worst defenders. So if you get a top draft pick, you want to address that want to address someone who can really defend, because like they have talent, but the thing is the other Hawks guys, other than Young and Collins, really have to do something to really prove that they are there on the right. Though they are, but like to really step up and be the best guys on the team along with Young and Collins, because they're carrying the load because they are the two guys who are carrying the load more for the Hawks. Reddish has been doing well. Kevin Hunter, I wouldn't sleep on the guy. DeAndre Hunter, his defense taken a bit of a dive because that was his selling point, but he's been a fine shot creator. How do long break and title chase? The team everyone's been talking about when it comes to title chase, now that this has come, have been the Boston Celtics. Seriously, like now the Raptors and the Celtics, but not a lot of people are talking about the Raptors when it comes to the playoff chase. Instead, it's the Celtics. But I do believe the Raptors and the Celtics are like neck and neck within each other. So I believe it's really disrespectful if you don't talk about the Raptors, because you can say they are without Kawhi, but they have been without the season. And plus the fact everyone loves to ignore so that they can fit the narrative of the Raptors. They've been injured. They've been injured so long that no other team, and they already got 46 wins already. Must if they're healthy, I don't know. They might have been better record than what the Lakers have. My mindset. So, how does affect the title chase? Three best teams still the Lakers, Clippers, and Bucks. So, the Clippers, according to many, remain the title pick. Teams with more high-end talent, the 76ers have too much talent. But the thing is, talent only takes you till a certain point. Like fit and chemistry are still that, but they still have, and in playoffs mostly they deploy the main players for long stretches. But now I believe with star players being your main players being out of shape, my mindset is that depth will be more important. That's just what everyone else has also been saying, few websites actually. So Andre Snelling's here, saying more high-end talent, aging stars, they have time to get back into shape. They have more. They have time to get into the rhythm, time to get slowly into the routine. They have time to relax, rejuvenate themselves. Like the Lakers, Clippers, Rockets have more high-end talent. Westbrook and Harden. Harden slimmed down his body. So many people have kind of mixed reactions to it. It'll be doing a good favor to him, knowing his stamina has been down come playoff time. Now it's something worth trying. So obviously, Friedel, the Clippers have a full healthy roster. The thing with the Clippers, they have a very good starting lineup and a very good bench, the best bench in the league. But the thing with the Clippers is they don't have a lot of games healthy. Like you could have said they were nine, like they were like almost 10 games healthy, but some of those came within before the Morris trade. So after that, the Clippers really have to figure out some chemistry. That's where the exhibition games come in. I believe there are gonna be some kind of exhibition games. So hey, whatever's there, I'm just along for the ride. So the exhibition games really gonna form some chemistry between teams who haven't really been fully healthy, according to me. For hell of a postseason, Tim Bontem's correct on the money, man. Like there's no asterisk this season because teams are fully healthy. There are times to like kind of get into the routine. So there's gonna be no asterisk. This might be one hell of a postseason. And but the thing with the other teams is like I faced this. If bad teams win it, they're kind of more the asterisk. No asterisk, no matter who wins it, in my idea. Because teams are almost gonna be like fully healthy, all of them, which sometimes not the case if you go straight ahead, head on. So, gonna be the most grueling 3 months that team personal league officials go into in NBA careers. Man, this is gonna be really good postseason. Players are fully healthy, but anyway, Marx is right on the money here in what he thinks is right because he stated the right reasons. Because one thing, employees are at stake because they'll only come back a month later. They have to set up everything else, and three players have to work themselves back into shape. As per given year, play 8 games within a 2 week stretch, with some teams who had harder schedules, more easier schedules down the stretch. Now, because that 8 teams removed, they might have a harder schedule. Now, now live in a hotel for up to 3 months, which is not the most ideal scenario. Live in a hotel for 3 months, but anyway, not much interaction with the outside world, yes, to prevent the exposure of the coronavirus, of course. Which our team will be a deserving champion, because if you go head on straight ahead, I believe not a lot of teams would have been healthy, but now it is allowed teams to be healthy. Like if you consider July 31st, it would have been like 4 whole months since it's happened, since the NBA went in the hiatus. So that's one reason why it won't be an asterisk season. So that's just to cap it off, guys. Thanks. I hope y'all are safe too. So just putting a lid on it. So once again, I'll say thanks. See y'all. Hope.